Cuckoo.
The first thing we want to do is uh, set up our project settings. So go to project settings, and on this panel on the left here, go to 2D and enable where it says use GPU pixel snap. Just switch that to on. Then scroll down all the way to where you can see display. We're going to select window, and on window, I want to change our aspect ratio. So by default, it's set to 1024 by 600. We want to have it at 1280 by 720, which is a more common aspect ratio for mobile phone devices. So the next thing we're going to do is scroll all the way to the bottom here where it says mode, stretch mode. Uh, Disabled, we're going to have that in 2D, and aspect uh, we're going to change that from ignore to expand, which will allow our window to be resized, right? Then after that, now we want to handle our input map. So input map is basically our controls, the controls that we're going to have for the game. So in our game, we're just going to have the character moving to the left, to the right, and the character will also be able to jump. So at the top here, where it says action, we're going to add those three actions that we've talked about. So we can start with left, and then you click add. Then we'll have right, add, and then we have jump, add. So these are the three actions that our game character or player character is going to be able to perform. So for each action, we're going to set the buttons that are going to trigger that action. So go ahead and for left, go ahead and click the plus sign uh, at the end of it. So we're going to choose key, right? So on the keyboard, and then um, on the keyboard now is where you're going to press whichever button that you want for movement towards the left. So I'm going to use the left arrow key. Every keyboard has basically four arrow keys, four main arrow keys. So I'm going to click on the left, and then immediately I press, you're going to see it change on the screen. So there it says left. So I've clicked on the left arrow key, then say OK. On the for right, I'm going to do the same. So click on add key, and then I'll press right, just like that, and say OK. And for jump, we want uh, our character to be able to trigger. In order for the player to trigger a jump, they're going to use the spacebar. So I'm just going to press the spacebar where it says space. All right. So uh, and by the way, you can have multiple inputs for the same action. So we can go ahead and add. Sometimes on the keyboard, maybe for left-handed players, they usually prefer to use WASD. So here for left, we can add another input. So left, we can have that as A again. So A, then you press OK. So now our player character is going to be able to move to the left by when the player either presses the left arrow key or A button. So for right again, we can add another trigger or another button. So let's make that D. Uh, yes, and for jump, you can just leave it like that. If you want to make it like the up arrow, that's up to you. But that's going to be it for now. So that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like the video. Also, if you'd like to see more content coming up, please subscribe. And lastly, if you have friends that you think would enjoy learning about game development, please share this video with them. I'd be really appreciative if this tutorial got to as many aspiring developers as possible. Thank you, and see you in the next one.